All right, we are live right now. BS3 Radio live post-game show, game 4 of the NBA Finals. Lakers go up 3-1. The series is pretty much all but over. But who's surprised? Who's surprised at this point? We got the crew on here tonight. We got Todd Mack.
What's up with y'all?
We got Al High rocking that fresh fitted KC hat.
You know what it is.
And we got Courtney Harden in the building. Courtney Harden up late, man. It's almost midnight, so thank you for coming on.
I had to jump on my boys, man. It's been too long. I said, you know what? I know they've been late, but I got to get on. So yeah.
So Lakers win. They go up, like I said, 3-1, 102-96. It was a back and forth game. You know, I'll give my take on it, my overall take on it first. It was a back and forth game. You had some key shots from AD late in the game, a couple threes. KCP, my man I love to talk about. He had 15. KCP was just jacking up shots. That's what he does, though. We all know that's what KCP does. But it was a big win, very important, very confident win, and that puts them in the driver's seat. So, Tyon.
Yeah, man. You know, I think Miami fought as hard as they could this game. You know, but like I said, it's too much right now. You know what I'm saying? They're a good team. They need to be at full strength to beat the Lakers. Man, it just ain't gonna happen. But you know, you love the effort. The defense was pretty good. Like I said, you gotta play almost a perfect game to beat these dudes right now. Just because they don't have the depth. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you know, losing Dragic is really, you can really see it, you know, on the floor. You know, they don't have that experienced player that they can go to get a bucket right now. So it's, you know, with Jimmy Butler, of course you have Jimmy Butler, he's going to go get a bucket. You know what I'm saying? But you need that second player, you know what I'm saying, who could kind of take that pressure off of him. Dragic was doing that. He's been doing that the entire playoffs. And I mean, we've seen them in other series where, you know, you look at games, you like Jimmy Butler got 11 points and they're up by 15. You know what I'm saying? He only has 11 points for the game. You know, they're winning by 20. You know, things like that. So you need that other player. And right now, just with not having him, I mean, they don't really have a chance. You know, it's good that they're competing, though. I love it. You know, they're playing hard. They're moving the ball well. You know, you're seeing some great basketball from them, but they just ain't got enough.
Yeah, I mean, they're giving their heart. They're giving their all in all. But, you know, at the end of the day, your all in all is not enough. And
yeah, sometimes it just ain't.
Sometimes it just ain't. That's just the facts. All right, we'll go to you, Courtney.
Yeah, I agree with Tyon, man. I just don't think Miami just got enough. I think the issue was, I mean, they played well defensively throughout the game. It's just in the end, the Lakers just had too much. It was LeBron just putting his will. I mean, he just kept going to the basket. And then you had AD hit that big three in the end. KCP, as you said, I mean, I'm not a big fan of KCP, but I mean, the guy, he's out there for a reason. He's out there to hit shots, and that's what he did. And playoff Rondo, he stepped up again, like just his presence on the floor at the point guard position. We know what he can do in the playoffs. So he sets people up. He has people in position, and he's another ball handler that LeBron doesn't have to handle the ball, or Caruso don't always have to handle the ball. You got a player like Rondo who's won a championship, got the experience, plays well in the playoffs and finals. So he's out there, like I say, he's distributing the ball. He's like say putting people in the right place, passing out around a dime every single time. So yeah, Miami just didn't have enough. They just didn't have enough, and I love the effort. I had picked the Lakers in this series in 7 because I was with Miami at full strength anyway. But they're making it competitive. Jimmy played well, almost had another triple-double, but he wasn't as aggressive as he was in game 4 or 3, game 3. And it just wasn't enough. And he even had to do more. I said before on my show, I said, Jimmy's going to have to be D-Wade of 06. He's going to have to do that for them to even have a chance. And he did it in game 3, but they put AD on him. They made the adjustments. They put a longer body on him for most of the night. And LeBron was on him a lot. And with Anthony Davis, the defensive wizard that he is, he kind of just held Jimmy Butler at bay. And it just wasn't enough. I mean, except Miami played hard. They played well. It was a close game to the end. It's just the Lakers they got the two best players, and it just showed again.
Yeah. I mean that's basically what it came down to, is that they had the firepower at the end of the game, and AD, who was not playing. I mean, the guy really wasn't playing in the post at all. He was standing at the three-pointer, at the three-point line, but he was, he hit a couple of his shots. He hit some crucial ones, that really changed the game. All right, Al, we'll go to you.
We all know that the Lakers are the stronger team in this series. Now, I picked the Lakers in 7 because of Gordon Dragic. I picked the Lakers in 7 because of Bam Adebayo. I respected those two players in the greatness of Jimmy Butler. But without those particular players in the series, and now Bam was a big boost tonight. But if you realize, the Lakers turned the ball over too many times in Game 3. So you knew, and AD only had 15 points. So we knew AD was going to have a big game. We knew LeBron was going to go off. And you could tell the game was very close. It was very tight. And you could tell the Lakers were in control of it most of the way, and they just went and just took it and just set it up off in gear at the end. Lakers, I mean, Heat was struggling with rebounding toward the end of the game. Lakers were getting a lot of second chance buckets. It just wasn't enough, and you gotta tip your hat to the Miami Heat. I mean, they have been playing. They've been playing with the best that they can do. It's like every man on deck is doing what they're supposed to do. Jimmy Butler tonight, he had 22. I believe he would have had the ball more in his hands, but like we talked about earlier, when you put AD on Jimmy Butler, he's kind of limited to what he can do when you have a longer body on him to slow down a Jimmy Butler. But it's all about, man, I mean, the Lakers are just a better team right now. I mean, KCP just making jump shots, Anthony Davis closing it out, man. If Anthony Davis is not the Finals MVP, there is a problem, okay? Anthony Davis should be the Finals MVP. And I need to say it right now. Anthony Davis, Finals MVP. If LeBron is getting it, I got a problem with that. No, because Anthony Davis has been the biggest chess piece that for the Lakers that has come up big. And anytime he's not scoring the way he's supposed to be scoring, the Lakers have no chance of winning. But because his presence and what he's doing on the offense and defensive end, he's the Finals MVP, without a doubt.
Yeah, I agree with that. Let me look up the stats right here. AD had 22, 9, and 4. Let me give a couple quick shout outs. Forgive me. Mocha Bella in the building. We also got Taryn Rodriguez, our two biggest supporters. And also, Mocha says she's still proud of her Heat, which you got to be, man. They're fighting, but the fight is they just don't have enough at the end of the day. And when you got AD hitting threes like the way he did tonight, there's no way to defend that. There's nobody tall enough. There's nobody physical enough to block a shot or even get close to it. But AD played 42 minutes. He played the most minutes on the team. LeBron played 39. AD was falling quite a bit. Now, I don't know if that was, I'm trying to figure out, did he just need a break or was he really hurting? Because it was probably 3 or 4 times, he fell down with that grimace like, oh no, I'm not doing well. But maybe that was just for him to kind of flop and get a little bit of a break. I don't know.
AD sometimes a little fragile sometimes. I mean, he's been a little injury prone, and he was getting banged around a little bit, but it was more of, I might need a little break. Let me get a little break. I mean, he played a lot of minutes. He said 42 minutes, a lot of minutes just to be playing. But he gets knocked on the ground a little bit here and there. But he played well, but LeBron just put his will. He put his will in this game. And I think with the MVP, the first 2 games AD definitely, but see, LeBron's just been consistent throughout the series, and he'll probably end up getting it anyway because AD had that bad game in Game 3 with 15 points and all those turnovers and foul trouble. So I think that one game might hurt him unless he comes out and scores 50 next game. And but LeBron's not gonna let that happen. LeBron wants that MVP. It's been too long. He needs that MVP.
Yeah. LeBron's definitely ready to rub it in. So as the game started off, when I earlier today when I seen Bam was playing, I was like, okay, this is about to be a game. and the Heat came out. They were physical. The starting lineup, which is kind of pretty much been the same. Hero, Bam, but Bam coming back instead of Leonard, Butler, Crowder, and Duncan, and then AD, LeBron, Danny Green, Dwight Howard, and KCP. Dwight Howard had 0. He had 0 tonight. He was. I guess he was just in there for defensive purposes with Bam in there. But I think Dwight Howard's been big, throughout parts and times of the series. But KCP with 10 early points. As I talk about KCP. But one thing I did want to mention, which I want to get you guys' take on this. LeBron had 5 turnovers early. I mean, it was just he looked confused at some points. I was kind of like, I know the stage isn't too big for LeBron, but he was just making kind of silly mistakes, and the game was kind of sloppy early on.
I mean, I think I don't know if you want to say he was making mistakes or just he was just playing good defense. I mean, when I was watching the game, I was watching how Miami was like rotating. I was watching how they were fronting the passes. So whenever AD or LeBron went in the post, they fronted the ball, pressured the ball handler to try to make over the top passes and rotate over. So they did a lot of that this game, which kind of played. Which you mentioned that Dwight Howard had 0 points. Probably why he has 0 points, right? Miami had tried to eliminate the ability of the Lakers to pass the ball into the paint. And they did a pretty good job rotating over from the weak side to, because that over the top pass is a long pass. It takes long to get there. So that weak side defender can get over to press and usually come with the double team and force a turnover. And so they got a lot of turnovers like that. Like LeBron tried to throw one in, tried to throw 2 in to AD like that, which ended up in turnovers. And he tried to throw a cross court pass, got caught in a turnover as well. So Miami's did a pretty good job of like keeping their hands up, passing lanes, deflections. They're going over the top of screens with certain players. They're going under screens with Rondo, things like that. They've just been playing really well, like just defensively. So I don't want to say they were just errors. I mean, they play good defense, and they've been doing that for the last 2 games. I think that's why they've been in those games. Tonight, game 3, they won game 3. But tonight they was in that game because of their defense. They really needed just somebody else who could make a shot at the end of the game. They couldn't find nobody. Tyler Hero tried to, but he's a young dude. He's a rook. He's out there trying to take some really, really tough shots. He's taking fadeaways. He's taking bad shots. I mean, not understanding where the clock is at. You had a couple of veterans do the same thing. I think Crowder took one with they got a rebound, and Crowder took one with 14 seconds left on the shot clock. They're only down by, I think they was down by 5, right? So you got to understand, when to take those type of shots, when to attack the rim and things like that. And I stated, they just don't have the veterans right now. They need that experience. They don't have it right now, So, and again, that's where you miss that guy like Dragic, who is a veteran.
Right. Was the leading scorer, like you pointed out, Tiana, a couple times. Terrence says, I was wrong when I said LeBron was going to get a triple-double, but I wasn't wrong when I said the Lakers take game 4. Terrence is the resident Lakers fan. He's happy. Every time somebody would say, the Heat was going to win, he was like, nah, Lakers going to win. Nah, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. But big win tonight by the Lakers, commanding lead 3-1. Let's talk about the minutes that Kendrick Nunn got. Let me see. Let me go to this. Kendrick Nunn had 26 minutes. It was he just couldn't get into, in my opinion, he just couldn't get into a rhythm. And I think, coming off the bench is not for everybody. Also, another thing, last game Kelly Olynyk had 17. Tonight he had 4. You needed those 13 other points, and Kelly Olynyk wasn't hitting. So touch on that. One of you guys, if you want to touch on Kelly Olynyk or Kendrick Nunn, the minutes he got.
I don't understand. Like with Kelly Olynyk, I think his minutes went down partly because of Bam Adebayo. I think if you would have put him in more than a Kendrick Nunn, and would have, and if he would have made some more shots because it took some of that pressure off of Butler and hit some more shots, I think that would have been better. Because I mean, tonight the game was 102-96, and Olynyk, according to this, had what, four points. So, and he was 0 for 2 from 3. So let's say he just took 4 more threes, I believe he would have made 2 of them, and it would have been a tie game. You would have went to overtime. So I think more of Kelly and less of a Kendrick Nunn. Kendrick Nunn, I think, was just another body to free up to like free up a Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson. And so that I just wish, man, you got it for Game 5. You got to get Kelly in there a little bit more to help to like at least stretch the floor out. But the good thing, one thing I do notice with the Lakers that they have been doing very well defensively wise is from what I've seen, it looks like they have been defending at that 3-point line. They have not. Duncan Robinson has not been comfortable shooting the 3. Tyler Hero has not been comfortable shooting the 3. They've been taking tough shots. They've been taking tough jumpers. And also, if I'm not mistaken, Kendrick Nunn is still trying to get back in the groove of things because, you know, he came back to the bubble late. So he's still trying to get his rhythm as well. But right now, I mean, you down 3-1. So now everything on the table now, man. Everybody need to come on deck, man. They might put a coach up in there, Udonis up in there, and get him 10 minutes, man, to get the banger. So.
You know you're in trouble. You in trouble with Haslam because he's got to play any minutes now in this stage of his career.
hey, give Adonis some minutes, man. I would be okay with that. But he's coaching. He is assistant coach at this point. I don't even think he got a jersey on. I think he just got basically sweats on, and he's just out there, you know, getting in people's faces. Which I love that though. I love that about Haslam. Man, he's been on every single run the Heat has had in the past 20 years, you can say.
Yeah,
he's been on there, you know, for a good minute. Now, anybody else wanted to touch on that?
Yeah, I was gonna say something about Kendrick Nunn. Yeah, Kendrick Nunn. I know we were talking about this before the show, and I was like, he played way too many minutes. I was like, why is he still out there? He's ineffective. He was, like I said, 2 for 11. Yeah, 2 for 11 from the field. And he had 6 points, 4 rebounds. He was 2 of 6 from 3. So he couldn't hit a shot. And as you said, Ben, he couldn't get into rhythm. So I don't know why, like, they played him so many minutes. I thought Olynyk should have played a little bit more. Maybe Iggy. I mean, Iggy played 21 minutes. So they could have given Iguodala a little bit more minutes, too. Yes, he didn't shoot well from the field, only 1 for 3, only shot 3 shots. But you got to give these guys like Iguodala and guys like that at least a little bit more minutes. And I guess you had Kendrick Nunn in there for some ball handling, and if he can find his shot. Now, if he hits half his shots, it's a different story. But he was just out there running around, and he played a lot in the third quarter too. And I'm like, well, where's Tyler Hero? Like, where was he? Like, until they played Tyler Hero, they got him at the end of the third quarter. He played all of fourth quarter. He's got to play a little bit more minutes too. And I know he played 38 minutes, but push that up to 40, 42. You know, you got to get those guys that can hit shots that was in rhythm, being aggressive and hitting shots. You got to keep them in there. So, I mean, I thought that the rotation wasn't as tight as it's been for Miami. But I mean, I'm not gonna, the Lakers played tremendous defense, especially in the end. And they were really locking down on those guys, and they were making Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero take in. They were making tough shots too, but the Lakers really locked down on defense. So yeah, Kendrick Nunn to me just played. He played maybe about 7-8 minutes too many.
Well, I can tell you why Kendrick Nunn is playing right now. Kendrick Nunn is playing because outside of Jimmy Butler, he's the only guard that's going to the rim. Nobody else is going to the rim. Tyler Hero is settling for jump shots. He wants to drive, pull up, step back, fadeaways. He's not driving to the rim. And Duncan Robinson ain't touching the rim. He ain't going nowhere near the rim. All he does is take the 3-point line. Right? Nobody else is going to drive to the rim. And that's the only other person that you got on your team currently that is willing to go in there with the bigs and get hit. So, you need something else. They don't, like I said, they don't have enough scoring. They don't have enough experience. They don't have that player who knows, like, okay, we missed 4 or 5 straight jump shots. Somebody got to get to the rim there outside of Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is going to the rim. That's where he plays at. He's driving. He's taking the little 10-footer, the 5-footer floater, going to the rim. That's his game. But nobody else's game replicates that on that team. Everybody else is just jump shooting. And so they're essentially making the defensive game easy for the Lakers, right? And so the Lakers aren't, they aren't expending much energy. You see, they changed their lineup. Like you notice, Dwight Howard ain't playing that many minutes right now, and JaVale McGee. Where's JaVale McGee?
JaVale McGee
sitting on the bench.
We ain't even seeing him right now. They've literally went to a small ball lineup with the Lakers because they know that they're not going to the rim. They're not attacking the rim. They don't need a shot blocker in there. AD is the only shot blocker you need. So Miami has to figure out. They got one more game to figure this out.
It's a wrap though.
It's over, right? They're going home. They got this game to figure it out. They got to find some lightning in the bottle. They need somebody to get it going to the rim, get to the free throw line, do something different. They can't settle for jump shots. They got to be aggressive. Game 3, we saw Jimmy Butler be aggressive. He wasn't as aggressive tonight, but this is their last chance. You got to look at it as, this is a good team. They're going back to the locker room. I'm hoping that Jimmy Butler is like, look, we might not never get back here again, so we got to put it back on the line. We got to put it all on the line. On Friday? I think they got Friday, right?
Friday,
so
right?
They got 3 days to get it together. Friday, our season ends unless we extend this series.
Yeah. This is it right here. They got one. I said Lakers in 6. Al said Lakers in 7. Courtney, would you say Lakers in 5?
7. Lakers in 7 too. Yeah.
Tyon, what'd you say?
I had Miami in 7, but after this one went down, it was
over. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And Tyon, you bring a good point with the Kendrick Nunn, like going to the rim because they don't have Dragic either. So they needed. I'm not saying he shouldn't have been playing. It's just that he was ineffective in those 26 minutes. And if he plays like stop shooting jump shots too, then take it to the rim. But as you said, AD's right there. I think he had 4 blocks in this game too. So he was blocking everything himself anyway. But I always said AD is the X factor. He's a top 5 player who's an X factor on this team. He's unstoppable. They cannot stop him. And without Dragic and not another ball handler, Iguodala is not the Iguodala from 2015 who won the Finals MVP. He's not that guy anymore, but you still need that experience in there. So, but yeah, I just think Kendrick Nunn just played too many minutes. But I'm not mad at it, but it's just one of those things. I think he was just out there. It was almost like, and then he was at the 3-point line most of the time too. So he was just ineffective. Yeah,
and this is a tough loss too, because there was plenty of times I think that the Heat could have still been in this, but they're jacking up threes. Like I get it. It's starting to annoy me though. This is like the age of the NBA. You stand at the 3-point line, wait for somebody. It's good ball movement, but like me and Time, we used to play basketball in high school. Even just because you have ball movement, that don't mean the 3-point shot is the best shot. There may be somebody down low. There's a more high percentage shot. And it almost looked like they were just living by the 3 and dying by the 3 tonight. They hit, let me see, they hit 10 threes. They went 11 for 32. One of those threes was at the end of the game. So that's 34%. And the Lakers went 14 for 39. But when it's in a game like this, man, you need every high percentage shot. Also from the free throw line, let me say they went 21 for 26. If you make those other free throws, Bam, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero. If you make them other free throws, it could be a closer game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I was gonna say Bam. Bam was only 6 of 8. I know it was his first game back, but he's got to get some more shots too. And as you said, you got to get somebody that can that can score in the half court. And besides Jimmy Butler, and Tyon's right, it's got to be somebody. And maybe the Miami Heat, they don't have enough. They just don't have enough against this dominant Laker, this dominant Laker team. When they're hitting on all cylinders, the Lakers can't be beat. They've proven it throughout the playoffs. Like they go down, they'll lose one game in each series, and they still find a way to win the series in 5. And it's like it looks like it's about to happen again.
Yeah.
And kudos to the Lakers defense, man. The Lakers defense has been superb. Anytime they have a loss, that they are able to come back and ramp up the defense even more on the team, make the adjustments and keep moving forward. So we got to give credit to where it's due. And that Lakers defense has been doing its job.
Yeah. And then, a very interesting part about this is AD didn't shoot any free throws. I had to put this on my notes until the third quarter. He didn't shoot any free throws until the third quarter, which I don't know, could mean something or nothing. But like when he got to the line, he made them. But AD was not playing down low pretty much at all. When he did come down low, he ended up getting double teamed and he would pass it. But those key threes, I think, was major. So it's 75-70 going into the third. And AD, and I had AD was falling down a couple times, which he got back up. But, one play I want to talk about in particular, LeBron, who was that? Tyler Hero was flopping, but LeBron was like, just get off me. You're a kid. You're a piece of paper. Bully ball. They dunked on the kid, but that's always LeBron's game. Nobody can stop LeBron. The closest, I think they brought up the stat the last game, but the closest was what Iggy. They had Iggy on the list. I think they had Jimmy Butler and who was it Paul George or somebody that they had on the list, one of the top defenders against LeBron. I don't know if one of y'all know.
Yeah, I saw a statistic that talked about defenders on LeBron, and they had Iggy and they had Crowder on there. And to be real, like they actually played pretty good defense against LeBron. Early in the game, like I said, they was forcing him to get turnovers. They was forcing him to turn over the ball. They was denying, which a lot of people don't get credit for. Denying the ball is good defense too. But it's hard to just stop LeBron, period. I don't think you got anybody that's going to, stop that dude for an entire game. And as I've said before, when you're playing LeBron, you have to decide how you want to play him. Are we going to be a team that's going to let him score and take away his ability to be a facilitator, shot creator, or do we want him to just be a shot creator and we just not going to let him score? You got to do one. You can't do both because the triple-double LeBron, you going home, period. you let him do all that, you going home. So you have to figure out how you're going to cover him. Like I said, I think Iggy and Crowder has done a pretty good job when they've been on him, when they've been having an assignment of him and Anthony Davis, which is, that's just tough assignments, period.
Yeah, crazy.
But I think it gets overlooked because they're not giving you nothing offensively, right? Like Iggy's not giving you nothing. Crowder, typically you can get like that like game, like that back-breaking three from Crowder. Lately he just hasn't been there though. He hasn't really been making, tough shots. He hasn't really been making anything. So you haven't been getting no offense from them. It's probably because they're spending so much energy guarding the two best players on the floor. So, like I said, they just don't have enough, man. Sadly, like I said, it's a good game. Like I'm loving watching the game. These last two games have been really good. The first two, it wasn't so enjoyable, but the last two games they've been competitive, and I've enjoyed watching like good basketball. I love to see the Heat move the ball. The ball movement, the back screens. I love seeing basketball like that. And even with the Lakers, like, you look at Rondo, and Rondo's out there looking like, like 2008, 2009 Rondo, with the ball handling, with the passing. He's even driving to the rim, and stuff like that. So, I'm loving just the way that the game is being played right now. But it's unfortunate that Miami just really don't have enough dogs to compete.
Yeah, true. The funniest comment of the night goes to Taryn Rodriguez. If Anthony Davis keeps falling and getting hurt, he's going to need a life alert. Except he's not saying I could fall in and I can't get up. Hey, maybe he is. You know, you can't hear everything. Maybe he is. Hey, but AD has been playing with the Mamba mentality, says Taryn. And at the end of the day, look, Kobe died earlier this year. There is no possible way. I don't care what would have happened. I don't care who the Heat had. They would not lose this series because this whole entire series and what is partly what's been fueling them has been Kobe. So at the end of the day, I'm gonna say that too. Let's give a congratulations. Oh, somebody wanted to mention that. Add on to that.
Kobe factor, man. That's what you said. It's a Kobe factor. So you got to win it for Kobe. Like,
oh yeah.
I feel it. I mean, I kind of thought that was gonna happen anyway. When it all started, I was like, Lakers gonna win the chip. Like they're just gonna grind out. They're gonna figure out somehow to win, and they're gonna dedicate this all to Kobe. Then, you know what I'm saying? Happy,
right.
Happy ending to the season. You know, especially a crazy season, right? Like,
right. Everything that's went on, yeah.
The bubble, and then you got all these teams, all these players show up out of nowhere in the bubble. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a crazy ride this year. But I mean, it'd be a fairy tale ending, right? You know, Kobe leave, they win a chip. So you know, exactly. They're favorite. Next year they won't be winning the chip. But
let's pause right now and congratulate the Seattle Storm. They win the WNBA championship. Breanna Stewart wins the MVP. So definitely let's give a shout out to the WNBA. They've been playing their games as well. I think this is their third or second in the past 3 years.
It's their fourth. It's their fourth. It's their fourth championship period. Yeah, they tied Minnesota and the Houston Comets with 4 now. Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, Breanna Stewart tore her ACL last year, and so she just came back this year and
dominant.
Yeah. And Sue Bird. Hey, they got Sue Bird on the squad too.
Back. Yeah. Hey, them UConn folk, bro.
Right. Yeah, hey, that UConn, the UConn women are better than the UConn men if you look at longevity.
Oh my goodness, yes. Dinah Taurasi, Breanna Stewart, Maya Moore. My goodness, man. Sue Bird.
And the funny thing is, I can name a whole bunch of UConn players, but they're not in the league anymore. Khalid, Il Alamin, you remember him?
Khalid Alamin.
Machine, what was his name? Kasim Tabit.
Hey, that little number 2 pick, boy, he was flopped so bad.
Yeah. Mocha said, I wish the Clippers would have shown up. All of us wish that.
Yes.
All of us.
Yeah. We all did. I think me and Tyon did in our NBA. I think we both picked the Clippers to win the whole thing, man.
And then they just, 3-1, and they just choked.
Yeah. Yep. Doc got out of there. Doc said, I'm
out. and the facts are, Doc would have still been there. If they would have made it to the Western Conference Finals, I believe Doc would have still been there. They probably wouldn't have won based on their track record during these playoffs. But at least if they would have got there, who knows what that could have been.
That would have been a victory right there for them to get to just that. For us, I think even the viewership would have been even more just to see the intrigue of LA, the mystique of the Lakers against the up and coming, the forgotten Clippers team with the paper bags on the head. That would have been
right.
the TV. Just imagine the TV ratings would have been off the charts. But then we got Denver, and Denver wasn't bad, but we wanted to see the Clippers.
It's Denver.
Yeah.
You want to see LA. Yeah.
It's Denver though. Like, we like Denver. I like Jamal Murray. I like how he plays, but it's Denver. Nobody wants to see Denver unless you're from Denver, okay? Jordan Rosario.
Rosario, what's up? Shout out, man.
Jamal Murray, for the playoffs, Jamal Murray was a dog this year.
He was.
He was a dog. And seeing Denver come back from 2-3-1 deficits was like beastly. I was like, they ain't playing. It's like when they backs get against the wall, they just show up. But I mean, then they got LeBron.
Yeah, right. And Denver gonna be a problem though, man. Michael Porter Jr. if he stays healthy, that's the guy. He's the guy right now with Murray and Jokic.
Hey, do not forget about Bo. Don't forget about
Bo. Yeah.
You know, the interesting thing about Denver, and I hate to say this, because you said they're going to be a problem, and I always feel like Denver is going to be a problem, but they're that team that like tease you for years and years and years. They have the talent. They look like they're going to be good. They look like they're going to turn the corner and never do. And that's how I feel like Denver right now. It's like they have the talent, man. They have the talent. Mike Malone is an offensive, he's a really, really good offensive-minded coach. They've gotten better defensively, but they just don't play well when it comes down to it.
Right.
With everything on the line,
Yeah.
We got a stat up right now. LeBron had 28. We got ESPN in the background. Jimmy Butler was just talking. Bam was just talking. Just to see Bam back, for me, I was like, okay, this is going to be more competitive than what it was the past two games, even though, Jimmy went off last game. But it was good to see Bam back. If we could somehow get Dragic before this series is over with, which I doubt it, though, that tear to me just doesn't seem like that's not something you could just, I'm just going to come back from, pretty quickly. So it is what it is.
That's a 4 to 6 week injury.
Yeah.
He's not. I would just go ahead and say he's done. They don't want to, but he's done. He's not. He's over. That dude, if he comes in and tries to play on that, he's going to probably tear. But he's probably going to fully rupture that. It'll be over. So once you have a plantar tear, you can't plant, you can't cut, you can't do none of those things without it being extremely painful. It's over for him. I don't see him coming back.
Now, my man KCP is right now being interviewed. KCP at 15 tonight. Hey, KCP was getting to the hole. Normally, KCP is just at the 3-point line. Like, hey, give me the ball. I'm ready. Like, dude, just cut or something. Nah, man, right here. I'm ready. But KCP was getting to the hole. He was. They're okay. If the Lakers are okay with how KCP plays, I don't have a choice but to be okay. They don't. I don't ever see anybody say you shooting too much. I don't see anybody getting his face. So
that's his job. That's his job. His job is to shoot the ball and play defense. I told you, said, why did they got KCP? I said, play defense and shoot the KCP. That's it. That's all you got to do. Just like with Danny Green. That's all you got Danny Green for. Danny Green jump shot is broke this year.
Wow. What happened?
Been broke for a couple of years.
What happened to that guy?
This might be the end. All them people on that, Deion Waiters, J.R. Smith, Danny Green, hey, they just riding that ring right now, man. That's going to be a different Lakers bench next year, man.
Karen, KCP was unsung hero. I'll give that to you tonight. Yeah, he had a key 15. I'm not gonna doubt that at all. So here's a question. Even with everything that the Heat would have had, is there something that they could have done? Say they were at full strength. Is there something that they could have done to win this series so far? Anybody want to answer that?
Yeah. I think at full strength you're able to exploit. You're able to open the floor up more. And I think you're able to take advantage of the big that's on the floor. That would be either one of the Morris twin or JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard. You'll be able to take advantage of that because Bam can step out and open the floor up for you. All right. You don't need Bam to go and really score in the paint for you, but because he can actually threaten with making a jump shot, he does open the floor, and that allows everybody else to kind of do that thing. That allows Dragic to go to the rim. I think Dragic can get to the rim against the best of them in the league. Him getting to the rim, that opens up Duncan Robinson on the weak side. That opens up Tyler Hero. Like Tyler Hero isn't up there jacking up 20 shots a game no more. He's taking, a good 12 shots, efficient 12 shots. You know what I'm saying? Instead of having to take 20, contested shots. So I think that makes a huge difference if you're at full strength. But they're not, and the other thing is, when you look at coaching, I looked at game 3 and some of the stuff that they did, which was, they played Miles Leonard. You didn't see no Miles Leonard signing today. They played him, let him stretch the floor. They let Kelly Olynyk stretch the floor more. Like I said, they tried to open up the floor. You got to open up the floor. You got to open up the floor to let these guys get better angles to the rim. Because like I said, the only person you got going to the rim right now is Jimmy Butler. You got to let him get to the rim. You got to let him work and make the game easier for all those other guys. But it ain't, like I said, it ain't going to happen now. It's over.
Yeah. Taryn Rodriguez is on a roll tonight. I don't have the clap track or the Kawhi laugh, but if the Heat scored more points than the Lakers, they would have won. Booger McFarlaneism.
Man,
oh god,
McFarlane comment right there.
That definitely is. If he was running a better route, he maybe would have caught the ball. Yeah. Forgot about that. Thanks a lot, Captain Obvious.
Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, I think the Heat definitely would have had a better chance. I mean, just like Tyon said, it's one of those things. Dragic, he opens up the floor a lot because like he's an extra ball handler. He's an extra ball handler that can get to the hole and who can score. Actually, like he can score. He was scoring throughout the playoffs. So with him getting injured and then Bam Adebayo was injured for those 2 games. It's basically over. It definitely would have opened up a lot more for Miami. They would have had more scoring options too, for them to play better in the half court because, like you said, they struggle in the half court. They definitely struggle in the half court without an extra ball handler and trying to find shots. It's tough against that Lakers defense. And if the Lakers would have went big with, if Miami would have been at full strength, the Lakers go big, they would have exploited that. So the Lakers would have had to go just play small. They would have had to add AD at center more than they wanted to. But Miami, if they were healthy, this would have been a series. That's why I had picked the Lakers in 7 because of Miami being at full strength, and still would have picked the Lakers, but it would have been a much better series.
Yeah. Taryn got jokes tonight, man. He is on a roll. He's like Bernie Mac in the chat room right now. Minus the cussing. So this series is all but over with. I thought game 5 was going to be on Thursday, but they pushed it to Friday. I guess because of Thursday night football. That's the only reason why I could think they would have did that.
Probably Thursday night football. And I know the what is it? The vice president thing is tomorrow, but that has nothing to do with it. So it must be Thursday night football.
I think Bucks and somebody on Thursday.
Bucks and Bears is playing.
Oh, come on, man!
Okay, it's better than what the last 3 or 4 weeks have been because all of them were just thuds. Like
you're right. The only good Thursday night game is always that first week. That first week, it's like whoa, it's like Super Bowl type matchup, and all the rest of them they just pick whatever scrub teams they can find.
Yeah. And even the first week, the Chiefs ran right over Houston. The first week.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Shout out to Cornelius King Coleman. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Give us your thoughts on the game. How you felt about it. Taryn, insert Kawhi laugh. Definitely. I got a question for you guys. It's not NBA related, but is anyone watching the Major League Baseball playoffs?
Oh, my bad.
Playoffs.
Hey, somebody. I'm like,
listen.
We had a playoff.
If Houston gets to that championship, I guess I gotta root for Dusty though. Dusty has not won. All right, we got to think back to that time when he was in San Francisco and lost. Then he went to the Cubs, and because of Bartman in Game 6 of the NLCS,
Bartman, yep.
Bartman, like that kind of and he's been a winner everywhere, but he hasn't gotten over the hump. So I would like to see You know, even though other people like, man, Houston don't deserve, but Dusty Baker's brought in order. So I want to see, Dusty Baker get there just because, he's overdue. Long overdue for it. So, but everything else, man, I ain't been watching too much, man.
Just a little here and there.
Yeah.
Just like to see the scores and all that. I saw the Yankees got beat tonight, so I think they down, or it's tied 1-1 against the Tampa Bay Rays. So other than that, not too much.
Yeah, I was like, I was thinking like y'all the odd man out. I am not picking Major League Baseball over football or these NBA Finals. Now, when the NBA Finals are over with, I'll turn it on for about 2.5 seconds until we get to the World Series. It's just facts.
Man, and I remember you used to watch baseball all the time, man.
I know, man. I don't know what happened. It's too much. It's too much going on right now. Plus, the Rangers aren't in it. And you got the cheating Astros in it. Like these guys, man, they all come in here like, oh, we're the best team. Y'all cheated, okay? Y'all in it this year. Y'all got lucky, and y'all still cheaters. But anyway, they're the Patriots. They're the Patriots of Major League Baseball. I have to put them in that category. All right, so this is a wrap. This game is a wrap. Let's look at bench points real quick. Looks like Miami had 4 threes, so they had 13 points off the bench and 18 to that, and the Lakers had 27. Morris and Kuzma. And Caruso have been given some key minutes in these past couple games. Morris is just straight up spot up 3. Kuzma kind of the same way. Neither one of them have really been trying to get to the hole or create. But when they get that wide open shot, they've been doing pretty good at knocking it down. There was 2 for 7 and 2 for 5, but those 4 threes they helped somehow. But they came in and did what they needed to do. And Morris with that weird number 88, it's like he Marvin Harrison or something.
Wide receiver out there.
But that was 2 key guys off the bench. You guys want to also Rondo. Rondo, as I've said this before, Rondo is key. He has been key, and I said this before. He is that engine to when he gets in, it's like everything just flows. All you got to do is get open. All you got to do is look alive because the ball is going to come to you somehow, some way, alley-oop or something. But touch on the bench play. Tyan, I'll go to you first. I think you're on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Repeat that question again.
I said talk about the bench play, the Lakers and the Lakers bench play and the Heat bench play.
Well, I mean, you already know what you're gonna get with the Lakers, right? You got 2 guys, Morris and Kuzma, who are there to score, right? They get in the game. Their objective is to score. I think, like I said, Morris has been starting lately, but typically he does come off the bench. And then you usually have Dwight Howard comes off the bench. He's just rebounding and scoring. But they're critical to being able to play defense, right? They are physical. Both of those guys are physical. All 3 of those guys that I just named are very, very physical basketball players. They give hard fouls. They fight over the top of screens. They do all the dirty work right now. So they've been crucial. And then of course you got Rondo, who is, again, he is a general on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So he's always, making the right plays, making sure everybody's in the right defensive sets, all those things. And yeah, those are the things that Miami are currently missing right now when they have players come off the bench. So, they don't have that guy who can come off the bench and do those things. When you look at like Tyler Hero's coming in, he's scoring. I think, like I said, he's been starting lately because of the injury, but he's typically your guy that's coming off the bench and trying to give you bench points. You have Iggy, who plays defense, who handles the ball. He's been doing that really well. But yeah, like I said, they need scoring. And they just can't get no scoring right now from the bench. Kendrick Nunn's been coming in. He hasn't been able to give you nothing. And I think the bench has, essentially been the thing that's killing Miami. And I thought that was going to be their strength when they were healthy. So
I'll give you that. Let me answer this question from Cornelius King Coleman. You guys think it's over in 5, or can the Heat force a game 6? They're not forcing anything. That's a consensus. So appreciate the question. I'm gonna go ahead and answer for everybody. I don't think anybody else is gonna disagree with that.
No.
Al, we'll go to you.
Man, I'm 5, and I kind of wish I could hit the BWW button for another game on Sunday, but it's not. It's not happening, man. I'm sorry, man. It's just not. There's too much Lakers, man. Like now, LeBron is getting in that closing moment in his mind. AD in that closing mind. It's Mortal Kombat, and you at that point, you about to finish him. Finish him off. Yep. Finish him off right now. That's how they're going to be in that mode come Friday night. So 5.
Anything you want to touch on as far as the bench play?
Man, it is what it is with this bench play, man. And when Rondo get in there, man, it flows better. And if you look at the beginning of the bubble, a couple of issues that were going on with the Lakers was that Rondo was not there. And so now, and then Avery Bradley was out. So once Rondo got in there, man, that made a big difference. You got to understand, man. Rondo has been running offenses with the NBA since he was 21 years old, out in Boston with the Celtics, with Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett. Like he is very valuable on the floor. So I mean, man, ain't nothing too much to say about it, man. Like and Rondo, when it's time for him to come in, he gonna do what he do. So yeah, that's what I got. But Lakers in 5, man.
Yeah. The only thing I got to say before you go, Courtney, is can we see a JaVale McGee sighting before this series is over? Let him get 1 minute.
JaVale McGee.
Let him and Dudley get a couple minutes. I don't care. 1, 2, 3, half a minute, whatever. Courtney, you want to add anything on to that?
I think they said it all, but just to add, it was just Lakers got this series, like you said. LeBron, he sees blood. It's like
blood in the water.
Blood in the water. He sees it. You can tell he's determined because this might be his last chance to win another championship. So this could be it. Like, and that's why you guys think this guy's playing. Like he said, look, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to win this championship. This was a different type of run. As we said, it was a stoppage in March. They got rested. I think the Lakers benefited. I mean, look at they're in the finals now. They benefited the most out of all the teams because LeBron needed the rest. AD got some rest because remember he was getting banged up, so they got the rest for 4 months. They came back, struggled a little bit, and in the beginning of it, but they were kind of just coasting a little. So, but yeah, it's a wrap. I think the Lakers get it done in 5. And with the bench, as you said, if Rondo comes in, he opens up everything, and he's a facilitator. This guy's been this way for his whole career, and he's just out there. He's picking his spots. He's dribbling, and boom, there he is. Somebody's open. There's an alley-oop. There's something. The extra ball handler. He's the guy. And when, like you said, when Morris is out there playing D, when Rondo's playing D, Caruso, he gets in the mix and he starts playing some defense too. I mean, that just lifts up the Lakers' spirit, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Yeah. So it's gonna be over on Friday. They're gonna hoist a trophy. We'll do another post game show. Whoever's free, you guys can come on. You know how we do it. It's gonna be entitled "Lakers Are Champions" because there's no other way. There's no other way that this is gonna go. And I think it's a wrap. So before we go, we got a few minutes left in the show. Do we see these teams being the same way next year? Do you see anybody? And I'm talking about main guys. You see any main guys leaving next year to go either somewhere else, trades, free agency? You guys see any of that happening?
I don't think so. I think looking at the Miami Heat roster, Bam, Jimmy just signed there. Robinson, Hero, these guys are young. Nunn's young. They're going to probably bring back majority of their roster. The Lakers, the only one is AD. He's a free agent, but he get that championship. He's staying.
Yeah.
He's going to stay. He's going to be a Laker for the rest of his career. And how many more years is LeBron going to play? Another 2? Does he want to try to get a couple more? So I don't see. Yeah, I mean, Danny Green might be done. I think KCP's a free agent too, so he might get his ring and try to get some more money. Kuzma's there for a little bit, so the main guys, I think, for both teams will still be there.
Yeah, and I think Bam, is about to get paid because Bam, I believe this is his final year. Yeah, this is his final year of his deal. I think they got a club option. But they're going to have to pay Bam, and I don't think they got a problem. I mean, the only person they're paying is Jimmy right now.
Yeah.
Iggy may be getting a little bit more, over the minimum, but yeah, they're not really paying anybody major money right now.
Yeah, Iggy not going to be back next year. That's what I wanted to say too. with the bench, by the way, I did expect. I mean, I know Iggy gave all that he could in the game, but I just wish he would have did a little bit more, But he was good to be there for the experience because he's been to 6 straight NBA Finals. That's a lot. That's crazy. 6 straight, that's crazy. But as far as like the teams, man, the teams are going to stay the same. Only difference I could maybe see the biggest question is how many more years is LeBron James going to be playing? Yep. I know next year I think he being like the last year of his deal. And then it just depends on how much, how much time, how many more years does he want to play, And then you got to look at the West. You got Golden State coming. You got
Warriors.
You got Denver coming. I mean, you got several teams. The West are always going to be stacked. So, does LeBron want to take that? Go through that rigorous season again? I'm about to say David Stern. The commissioner did announce that they're going to try to play all 82 games, and they're playing through the Olympics next year during the Olympic time. So, I mean, and the turnaround for this offseason is not going to be long. So, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, though. But I am excited, man, for sport. I'm excited, man. So,
yeah. I agree. Terrence says Giannis to the Lakers. Giannis' brother will be winning a ring before Giannis does. True.
That's true.
I'll say, yeah, Giannis' brother might be going to the Lakers, not Giannis himself.
All right, Ty, anything you want to add on to that?
Yeah, I mean, this Miami team is built for the long haul. They're a young team. You know what I'm saying? So their core is young. They added a couple of veterans, and I think that they're going to try to add a couple more pieces. They might try to get a big free agent in, or look at them targeting another guard. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, with Dragic going down, like that exposed the fact that they do need another guard there. So they're going to probably look at trying to bring a veteran guard in to back up Dragic of some sort, but. Overall, I think both of these teams will. I think the Miami will look the same. The Lakers will look a little bit different, but I mean, you could almost give LeBron any 4 players almost, man.
Right.
You could give him somebody who can go get buckets, and the rest of the roster you don't even worry about. Just go get him a bunch of role players, and he knows how to make them play their role, and they're going to be a competitor. So that'll, we'll see. Like I said, I don't think there's going to be a championship team next year just because, like I said, the West is loaded. And to be real, like, I think, with injuries happening Portland had injuries. Everybody they beat this year had injuries, so
true.
You have a tougher road if all the teams in the West are healthy and playing the 82-game schedule. I don't think the Lakers win the West next year. I'm not going to say the Warriors are going to win the West because I don't think we're going to win the West either. I do think that the Clippers if they can keep that same nucleus together, they will be the top team in the West next year.
Yeah, you got a good point right there. Terrence says, I heard Paul George might come to the Lakers because he wants to be a number 3 option instead of a 1 or 2. I hope that's not a true story, bro. PG, stay, okay? I want to see you in a jersey for more than a year. Come on, man.
Right. And then if you get, the Clippers just gotta run it back. You just try to run it back. You're gonna get a new voice in there, maybe Ty Lue, with the Clippers. So, but like you said, it's the West is gonna be loaded. Like you said, the Warriors. I talked to Kareth Burke yesterday. She said that she covers the Warriors. She said Victor Oladipo, maybe. So it's the guard. She's plugged in. So I asked her about the Giannis, and I asked her about, certain other players. And she said, well, Victor Oladipo is, he might be, it's like, well, maybe. Miami could go after him too. They could go after a guard, like Dion said, go after a guard like Oladipo. Somebody like that that can handle the ball, who can get to the basket, when he's healthy. So, man, next season gonna be crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, free agency is gonna be interesting. We're gonna have to do a free agency show for real, because I'm sure the list of where they're gonna go, and then we got to do an NBA draft show too. But man, great to have you guys on tonight. We're pushing at 1 a.m. Eastern time. So. Courtney, I don't know what time you got to be to work, but hopefully you'll be well rested.
I should be good, man. I'll be good. I'll go. I'm usually up to about 1, 2 o'clock anyway. So
okay.
I'll be all
late
good.
night.
Yeah, I'm a late night.
We're night owls. We're night owls. But what do you have coming up on the show this weekend? I don't know if you got it planned yet or not.
I don't know if I'm doing one on Saturday. I do have the hockey lady coming back on.
Okay.
I'm going to do that on Zoom on Friday. Then I might take a couple weeks. I got family coming in town the next few weeks. So season 2, though, the real deal will be back on in November, though. So definitely going to take a couple weeks off. But, I dropped those interviews during the week, those Zoom interviews during the week. So be on the lookout for those. Yeah,
definitely. And I appreciate you, Mocha. I know you won't be on Friday. I figured, because you don't want to hear you don't want to hear the Lakers love. I know you don't want to. Al, what do you have coming up in the next week or two?
Season 2 starting back up next week. I actually, when we was on here, got the guest confirmed. So be getting with him next week. Also doing some outside of podcasting, join Toastmasters, and so I'm working on speaking. Everybody has to get better, and so I've always some things that I could work on. So I am officially going to be joining Toastmasters, and I'm looking forward to that. I'm excited about it, man. See where that's going to take me. So Toastmasters and season 2 of the Casual Highlight. So I'm excited about it, man.
Also, my wife is actually doing Toastmasters right now. She's got a speech that she's doing on Saturday. So yeah, that's good. That's good. All right, Ty. Man, listen. When's the release date? I know you say they're maybe working this week.
Hey, the Man Listen podcast was supposed to come back this week, but we're gonna see. We're gonna try to get it back up and running, man. We're gonna try to get it back up and running. Hopefully this week.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, everyone out there listening, Mocha Bella, we appreciate you so much. Taryn Rodriguez, always in the building. We have Cornelius on. Let me see if I missed anybody. All you guys on YouTube, everybody on Facebook. We'll be back on Friday with the the post game of the championship. I'm go ahead and say it right now. I think everybody else is thinking the same thing. But we'll be back then. Whoever will be on, we will be here immediately after the game. So appreciate you, Tyon, Al, and Courtney.
Yes, thank you guys, man.
Been an honor, a pleasure. Thank y'all.
All right. Y'all have a good night or morning, wherever you are.
Peace.
Peace.